Hi, One Stars and fellow YouTubians. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty here, so I am just waiting for Laura to join. So, in the meantime, let's catch up on a little bit of the weekly wand. So, as always, the weekly wand program schedule is wake up with the wand every second Monday at 7:15 Mountain Standard Time. Tea with the Universe Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. right now, and that is just until the end of the year. In the new year, we'll go back to 7. And then live energy readings the first and third Thursday of each month, which again, in the new year, that will be once a month. It'll be the second Thursday of the month at 11 Mountain Standard Time. I'm not sure. I was just talking to Laura a few minutes ago. I'm not, she must be having technical difficulties getting in here. I'm just going to message her again. Because I'm not sure where she is. Hi, Daphne. We're just waiting. I know she will. I know. I'm messaging her in Facebook Messenger. I think we're just having a few technical difficulties. Thank you very much. Oh, I have been so busy today. So busy. It's nice to breathe. And here she is. Let me invite her. Hi, Laura. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I've never been on here. It's backwards. I'm confused.
I'm telling everyone, I think we were having a few technical difficulties.
Yeah, my browser was blocking it. I couldn't get on, and I don't know. Figured it out. I'm here.
Perfect. So, for those of you just tuning in, I would like to invite you to say hello to Laura. Laura, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are, what you do.
Well, my name is Laura Lee Harrison. I live in Langley, British Columbia with my 5-year-old son. I'm a sole parent, and always has been. I always have been, sorry. And I've been an entrepreneur for 5 years or going on 5 years. And I own quite a few businesses. I have a social media agency with my business partner, and we have a women's magazine and a women's podcast. I also am a makeup artist, esthetician, skin therapist, and I have my own business doing that. I'm a internationally published makeup artist, and now I can add children's book writer to my long list of everything that I do.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. I try to pick and choose what I tell people, but
Yeah, no kidding. And for those of you that don't know, I am fortunate enough to be Laura's publisher. So, woo, yay. I'm super excited about that. Super awesome. So, tell us about your book.
Yeah, well, my book is about our cat. His name is Zane, and he is absolutely insane. um, and I have never dealt with a cat like this before. I've grown up with black cats my whole life and male cats as well. Females are usually a little bit more crazy in my experience, but neutered males are pretty calm. And the black cats have always been really great and cuddly and nice. But this particular cat, I walked in the house from picking up my son today and he knocked over our Christmas tree. It was down. And we purposely didn't we haven't decorated it because we knew he was going to destroy it. So, he's just so, he's got so much life in him, and he's so gets into everything, and he's so curious, and he's just got these really quirky characteristics, and they've been driving me insane since I got him last year for Christmas for my son. And I had a friend come over a couple months ago, and she was like, I think your cat's a Bengal. Like, he's got all of these same characteristics, and he does all these things. And I used to have a Bengal, and that's what she was like. And I was like, oh, so I started looking it up, and I'm like, yes. And when I got to realize that and understand him a little bit more, our relationship grew a lot better. And then I was meditating one day, and the book title popped into my head. And I was like, okay. And I wrote it down. And another book title popped into my head, and I wrote that one down. And then all of a sudden, all the words were out on paper, the first draft. And I was like, okay. And then our dear friend, Daphne, introduced us when I told her, hey, I think I wrote a book. And she was like, oh, my friend's a publisher. Let me introduce you. And I was like, okay. and here we are, like, what, 3 weeks later, maybe a month?
Yeah, it hasn't been long, that's for sure. This was definitely divine timing because it's all seemed to fall into place. So,
yeah.
Daphne was wondering, what is a Bengal?
A Bengal, they are like half wildcat. They're bred to be domestic, but they're also half wild. I think they're an Asian cat, and they have these really, really pretty spots. But one of their biggest factors to being a Bengal, which is their fur, their coat, which my cat does not have, but in the sun you can see he's marbled. So he's pitch black, but if he's in the sun, you can see he's marbled. And I just thought that was because his sisters were orange. But his fur is sparkly, and that's a Bengal trait, to have like this sheen and shine. And I'm not kidding. When he walks into the room, he prowls into the room. Like, he looks like a small jaguar, and he like stalks his way into the room and looks things over, and he climbs things like crazy. Like, he hangs out like he's in a tree all the time, like on things. So, and I mean, cats do that, but yeah, I've always had black cats, and I've never noticed that they look like a wild animal, or like a jaguar. I've never put those two together, and he does, and he's silky looking, and he's so pretty. So, and those are very specific traits of a Bengal cat. And they have other traits as well, which he has all of them, like the body he has, and they've got like sacks of skin underneath between their stomach and their hind legs, which helps them fly when they jump through the trees. Well, not fly, but soar, I guess. So when he's got these big like sacks under under his legs, I was like, what is this?
Well, and Bengals are quite a bit larger than regular house cats, aren't they?
They can be. I mean, they've been bred, so it would depend on how far down the line he is Bengal, I guess, right? So, I definitely don't think he was bred to be a Bengal, because he was found in a field by a farm. So, I think he was just a stray cat situation.
I have a hair stuck to my lip.
That's never fun.
Oh, Ashley. This is my mane.
It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah, thanks. I don't brush my hair.
I barely do myself, so I get that.
Oh, well, yours is like silky and smooth, and mine's nesty.
It doesn't always look like this.
Oh, how excited are you?
Pardon?
How excited are you?
I'm very, 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 very excited. This has just been kind of such a whirlwind, and kind of really shocking as well. and definitely overwhelming in a really positive sense. The night that I put it all together on for the pre-sale and I posted about it, I think I spent 3 hours crying because I was so overwhelmed by the response. And every once in a while, I catch myself again, like being like, okay, I have to breathe because this is, it was just really shocking. And other things have been happening regarding writing as well that I never thought writing was a thing for me. And now I'm seeing that it might be my calling. And so it's really fun. And now all these ideas are just flowing to me like crazy. I've already got 2 other books for Kooky Kitty written and ready to start like going through the process to get ready to go out. So that's done. And I have another children's book in mind ready to go. More educational, I think, or more, it will hopefully help kids a little bit more. So very specific details on that, which we won't talk about just yet. But yeah, so it's been a really exciting experience and something that I never thought. I grew up as a creative, as a singer, and then I went into makeup. And so I'm a creative person, but writing, I just never thought was a strong suit, and just never thought it was anything that I would ever do. So it's been really cool.
Well, I'm grateful that you're writing, and I'm sure everyone that purchases your book will be grateful as well. What have you learned?
What have I learned? Um, I think one of the biggest things that I'm learning right now is when something happens and you have an idea, just act on it, just go. And like even you said, I was like, oh, I can't write because I feel like I'm kind of crazy right now with all these things happening and everything going and moving forward because there's other things in business life that are moving forward really quickly too. And so I just kind of feel like I'm a little bit crazy right now. But you said to me too, you said if you have an idea, just write it down. You don't necessarily have to do everything right now with it, but definitely move forward with it so you don't lose it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think in the past I probably would have just sat on this and I wouldn't have really done anything. I would have been like, oh, cool, good idea. I should maybe do that. And I probably wouldn't have actually done anything with it. But here we are getting it ready to upload and go out for like 2 days away. And it's only been like 3 weeks. And so it's been really exciting and I've learned a lot. Just like trust my instincts and go with it. And you just never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to come out of something. So trust your instincts.
Well, and divine timing, right? Like it's happened so quickly. It's amazing. It's just all fallen into place. We manifest what we focus on, and the universe definitely has your back with this project because it has all been, from my end and from our conversations, I feel that it hasn't been a lot of work. It's just all fallen into place naturally.
Yeah.
So,
Big
yeah.
Even our illustrator, like I posted, I think that I found you. And then a girl from high school messaged me and said, hey, my cousin's an illustrator. And I put out some posts for illustrators, and that felt a little overwhelming because I got a lot of responses. And one girl I thought I was going to go with, and then that just didn't work. And then Jennifer came into play, and that just fell into place, and it was perfect. And literally, I can say I closed my eyes and visualized what I wanted the book to look like, and this is it. And me and her only had a couple of conversations, and I think it is fate or divine, the divine, whatever we want to call it, universal, because we're all Canadian, and not that I have a problem with working with someone that's not Canadian, but I think it's really cool that we are all Canadian, especially since my personal the people that I know are worldwide. So I could have very easily had someone
Yeah.
or found someone to do this that was American or from another country. And um, she is also a single mom. And she's also got kooky kitties. And I think she's even got a black one. And so I just think it's so cool that the team that we're building here is in sync. And then she's got all these other really great qualities and talents that she can put forth as well. And so it's just worked out really perfectly all together. And it's been really cool.
Well, the one thing that I messaged you this, I think earlier today or yesterday, was when I was reading her bio and she mentioned her cat, whose nickname is Doodle, and my cat's name is Doodle, her cat, whose nickname is Noodle. And my cat's name is Doodle, and his nickname is Noodle. And I was like, this is perfect.
That's so cool.
What are the odds that her cat's nickname is Noodle, just like mine?
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, it's universal, and I'm really grateful that Casey Kettle introduced me to her cousin Jennifer. So I just had this crazy idea. I put it out there, and the people that I needed to be brought to me were brought to me. And of course, this probably wouldn't have gone as smoothly so far if I didn't know some things. You are great because you know the things that I don't know. And then, our magazine is published a certain way. And so that's how we're kicking this off. And then I'm going to learn the rest that I need to learn as we go forward. So it's definitely a big learning experience on the back end of things. And today I'm learning that. But I believe that everything is going to work out exactly how it's supposed to, because this book has just come together so easily that I just don't see how it wouldn't continue to move forward. Yep, there's a learning curve, and that's okay. And we'll get there. We'll get everything done that we need to.
Absolutely. And one thing that I'm grateful for is the ability to learn and grow with the authors, because each book is different and I learn something new with each one. Still being very new in this field, it's really nice to work with other people that are just embarking on their journey, because again, you get to learn all aspects and share everything.
Yeah. I think this was definitely for me one of the better ways to go as well than this experienced people. The illustrator also, it's something she's always wanted to do, but she's not illustrated a book, and so we're all new here. I have written a chapter in 2 books, but I think that's very different than I just had someone tell me like, hey, here you go and go for it. And that's it. Everything else is taken care of. This is a totally different situation, different type of writing, different situation, having to figure everything out and find the publisher and everything and learn everything that I need to learn. So different situation, and a really fun one. And I think growing together. I'm also a person that likes to do things outside the box. I'm not that person. If I went somewhere, maybe a bigger place that's been around for a long time and they told me I had to do things a certain way, I'd probably be like, yeah, there's probably other ways to do it. So that's just me. I just don't live in a box. And so I think this has been the perfect way to branch out and do this and figure this out.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't consider myself the conventional publisher or the mainstream or the typical publisher. I appreciate the fact that you do think outside the box and you do things differently and that you do take initiative. I'm here to guide you, not to tell you what to do.
And you've been amazing at that. I really appreciated that. You've guided me when I needed help, and you're always there to answer the questions that need to be answered. And if you don't know it, you tell me I don't know that, and I'm going to figure that out, and you figure it out and tell me. But yeah, definitely you know the things that I just would have never known, and maybe would have frustrated me to figure out as well. So, and deal with. So it's been such a great experience working with you, working with Jen or Jennifer, and getting this done. So
thank you. So what advice do you have anyone embarking on the journey of magical writing?
Well, people keep asking me now what my process is, and I don't have one. I write, and I know a lot of people aren't going to relate to that, and they're going to need a process. There's all types of different personalities and people. But if you are the person that can just allow and write from a place of allowing, then all I can say is do that. Step outside the box that you think you have to be in, and write. Or you don't have to follow someone else's process. Just because I don't have a process doesn't mean I'm not a writer. Just because other writers have processes. So, and maybe that is my process, is I don't have a process. I don't know, like however you want to put it. But I tap into what I want to write, and I allow it to flow to me. The things that I write, the articles that I write for different magazines, the things that I write, even the second chapter in the other book that I was in, it all just flowed to me. I didn't have to force it. There was nothing. And if I've ever tried to force something, it was so painful. I wanted to like rip my hair out. And so I think my biggest advice is to allow, and come from a place of allowing instead of forcing. And do this because you want to, not because you expect to become a millionaire or something like that. Like, do it because you're choosing to, because it gives you joy and it fulfills you, not because you're purposely trying to get something out of it. I think is another thing that really changes the dynamics. I know that's changed my life a lot in all areas of what I do. And so, not that you don't deserve to create an income from it, you do, but the flow of creativity just comes a lot easier when you're not putting pressure on yourself.
Absolutely.
I hope
Yes, it did. And to add to that, I feel that for me anyway, I feel energy. So when I'm reading something or when I'm purchasing something, I can feel whether it was forced or whether it was natural, whether it came from a place of love and integrity, or if it came from a place of greed, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I feel that shines through in, I feel people are connected that way. They can feel that when they're looking at things. And I can definitely say, with your book, there's a lot of playful, fun energy there. It jumps out on every page. So I'm super, super excited for everyone to see it.
Oh, thank you. I still honestly, last night I read the book to my son like 3 times. He was so excited about it. And we just flipped through on the computer, and he's like, oh my God. And then when I was going through it, when I saw the finished paintings from Jen or Jennifer, I was so thrilled. There's one page that I'm like, this just captures the cat so much. And it just made me giggle every time I was reading over it, looking at it. I just would giggle so much. I was like, well, I know this is my cat, but I hope other people see this and feel this and giggle too, and think that this is funny, or think this is cute, or look at the cat and they're like, oh my goodness, he's so kooky. Because I see it being portrayed in the amazing illustrations that Jennifer did for this book. And so I hope everyone else sees it as well. So
what I think is going to resonate the most is for those that have cats, there's similarities, right? They're going to look at that, or when they're reading it to their child's going to be like, that's what our cat does, or point to it and say whatever their cat's name is because their cat does the same thing. So it's interactive that way. So
Yeah. Yeah, I do enjoy that we've kept, I did not name the cat. He's just called Kooky Kitty in the book. And the faces in the book are kind of, they're not, they're kind of faceless almost, right? And I really like that she kept that too, because that is another element that can feed into a child feeling like it's their cat. And you said at the very beginning when you read like one of the first drafts, you said this just connects to that age group. And so I'm really happy. I think that they'd be able to place themselves in those situations, like you just said, or their mom or their grandma or whoever's in the scene. So
yeah, and for those of you watching and those of you that catch the replay, you're just going to have to purchase the book to see what it's all about.
Yes.
So I have to ask you something that I have been asking all of my guests lately. Have you ever remembered something you didn't know you forgot?
Have I ever remembered something that I didn't know I forgot?
Mm-hmm.
That's a loaded question. I don't know if my brain can compute that.
I've only
remembered.
Sorry, go on.
Go ahead. I'm going to have to get you to repeat the question.
I was going to say, in all fairness, I think I've only had one person be able to answer it, and everyone else was like, I know I have, but I can't remember right now. So the question was, have you ever remembered something you didn't know you forgot?
Yeah, wow, okay. I don't think I have an answer for that.
That's okay. Something for you to ponder.
Yeah, I'm gonna really have to ponder that one. That's a good question. I forgot to buckle my kid into a seat once. And he was like, Mom! And I think that could fall underneath that. I ended up remembering.
We're not going to share stories about what we forgot to do with our children.
No, I remembered to do it and didn't think I forgot it. So, or maybe he reminded me. Maybe that's not the same thing. So I'm
going to leave you with that and let you think about it. In closing, is there anything else you want to share?
No, I just hope if you decide to purchase this book, you will. I just want to share one thing. I did buckle my kid before I started driving, so I just want to clarify that. So that's just one thing I want to clarify. But I hope if you decide to join us on this journey, there are more books coming, and I hope you enjoy them, and I hope your children enjoy them as much as me and my son enjoy them, and Cynthia and Jennifer have enjoyed them. So that's really all. I think you have the link if they want to pre-order, and we launch on the 10th officially. So
yep, I'll put that in the comments. So thank you for joining me on Tea with Universe, and thank you, Melissa, as always, from Hayward Eclectic, for providing me with the tea. Tonight I am drinking mint tea. So I'll put her information in the comments as well. I think that's everything for me. If any of our viewers want to be a guest on Tea with Universe, please reach out. I love having people reach out and share their stories. So you can send me a message either on the Weekly One Facebook page or at info@cynthia.services, subject tea. So again, thank you, Laura, for joining me tonight. And thank you, everyone else. I know you could be anywhere. You chose to be here. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. And I will see you all next time. Namaste.
Thank you. Bye.